Welcome to Dateline Polk with news about your county government. I'm your host, Connor Updike. Today you'll learn about County Commission actions from the December 13th board meeting. It might have been the final meeting of 2016, but there was plenty of work to be done to finalize many contracts and agreements heading into the new year. One of the most notable approvals by the board Tuesday was for an interlocal agreement with the City of Lakeland. In the agreement, the county will use about $9.3 million from the tourist development tax during the next 15 years to fund improvements at the Lakeland Center.
Yeah, so the interlocal agreement is an agreement between the county and the City of Lakeland to utilize tourist development funds and for improvements to the Lakeland Center. It's a great partnership between the city and the county, using money that tourists bring in, which is fabulous. It's not, it's not going to be 100% local burden on our local taxpayers, but it will enhance the Lakeland Center. It will provide a great space, an enhanced meeting space. It allows the arena to be improved, which is great for us when we're out recruiting events and trying to bring additional impact to our community.
Thank you, David, and good morning, everyone. We are incredibly excited to be here in Lakeland, Florida today for this very special announcement. And so without further ado, we are thrilled to formally announce this morning that the Orlando Magic are purchasing the Erie Bayhawks of the D-League and moving them to Lakeland, Florida. We have a lot of people to thank this morning for this great announcement and for what will be a great entertainment opportunity for the people of Polk County and Lakeland beginning in the 2017-18 season in the D-League. And we'd really like to thank the community of Lakeland and Polk County and Winter Haven for really opening their arms to the Orlando Magic organization and to our D-League team during this process. From the very first day that we started talking to this community, they made it known, everyone made it known, that they wanted this team here. And it's been a great process. It's been a process in which everyone in this community has come together to make it happen, to have this team play here at the Lakeland Center. And I can personally tell you that this is the beginning of what's going to be a tremendous partnership.
The board approved its legislative policy statement for the coming year, which will focus on getting funding for alternative water supply initiatives, the Bartow Northern Connector Phase 2, and the Central Polk Parkway Phase 1. The board also included getting its refund from the Department of Juvenile Justice for overbilling and changes to the Consultants Competitive Negotiation Act. The approval of 3 collective bargaining agreements took center stage for Polk County's first responders Tuesday. The board approved agreements with the International Association of Firefighters Union that pertain to the firefighters, battalion chiefs, and medical battalion chiefs. The agreements total about $2 million and will help raise firefighter pay. Aetna's administrative service contract with the county was approved by the board Tuesday, which cost about $2.1 million annually. The county is self-insured for employee health insurance, which includes employees of the BOCC, clerk of courts, property appraiser, the sheriff's office, supervisor of elections, and tax collector. The board approved a 5-year contract with Meritain Health, Inc. for administrative services for the Polk Health Care Plan. This agreement is expected to cost about $1.4 million based on the 4,363 participants per month.
Meritain Contract is a third-party administrator for the Indigent Healthcare Program. Currently, we have staff that provides all the services and paying the invoices and keeping up with the medical management of the Indigent Healthcare Program, where most programs have a third-party administrator take care of that because they can do it more efficiently and effectively with technology, and plus that's their business. We aren't in the business of being a third-party provider, so we went out for a request for proposals to see who could provide this service for the indigent healthcare program, and it has ended up in the contract with Maritime. We think that moving forward will be a much better program.
The board approved an amendment to its master purchase agreement with Motorola on Tuesday. The amendment renews 3 service agreements for 3 additional years and adds another service agreement for system upgrades. During its first year, the agreement will cost about $1.2 million. The county uses Motorola technology for its emergency radio communications.
The board action that they took this morning on the amendment to the master purchase agreement continues our existing maintenance contracts on our 2-way radio systems throughout the county that provide support and communications to all of our first responders. It also included a 10-year system upgrade agreement, which would upgrade our system 5 times over the next 10 years. Every 2 years, it will give us a complete upgrade of software, firmware, and necessary hardware to keep us at a maintainable level of system, so that we can receive support throughout that 10-year period, at the end of which the existing system will be the latest, greatest state-of-the-art at that point.
On the recommendation of the Northeast Polk County Road Projects Advisory Board, the board approved spending $275,000 on the design, engineering, permitting, and construction of a right turn lane from Florence Villa Grove Road onto northbound US 27. It also approved a CIP amendment and budget transfer from reserves to cover related project expenses. A construction contract with Florida Aquastore and Utility Construction, Inc. was approved by the board for the North Central Landfill repair and general maintenance of leachate storage tank project, which will cost about $121,453. About $1.1 million was approved Tuesday for an amendment to the construction manager at risk with Simcoe Construction for the Central County Jail pedestrian canopy roof replacement project.
Today I was here to get board approval for a contract with Simcoe Construction for $1.1 million to replace the canopy at the Central County Jail. The canopy covers a lot of the central services, water, electrical, things like that, and it runs between all of the buildings at the Central County Jail. It's over 20 years old, it leaks, and it's time to replace it.
In a 4-to-1 vote, the board approved the purchase of a deed of conservation easement from FX Bar Ranch, Inc., along with the cooperation of the U.S. Air Force on property located within the Avon Park Air Force Range. The purchase will help protect military training airspace. Agricultural activities will continue and natural resources will be preserved.
I'm here in support of a joint project between Polk County and the Air Force for the purchase of a conservation easement from a willing landowner that sits in close proximity. That property sits in close proximity to Avon Park Air Force Range. And the purpose behind that is to recognize a willing landowner and to purchase essentially development rights and keep that property in a compatible land use that is compatible with the mission of the range, to prevent that from encroaching on the mission, the current training mission of Avon Park.
The board approved a $200,000 contract with the 10th Judicial Circuit Court to provide the Behavioral Health Court Program. The board approved the $975,500 purchase of a 4-acre site from J&L LLC for warehouse and office facilities to be used by the Polk County Sheriff's Office for the expansion of its fleet operations. In other news, the board presented certificates to 2 employees Tuesday for their many years of service. William H. Bill Tucker, Jr. was recognized for his 25 years of service. Tucker was hired in 1991 and works as a utilities foreman. Joseph M. Mike Bell, who was not present for Tuesday's meeting, was recognized for 30 years of service. Bell was hired in 1986 and works as a lieutenant and maintenance officer in fleet management. The board also made several appointments Tuesday, which included David B. Anderson and Richard Arlen Ledbetter were approved to serve 3-year terms on the Polk County Lakes Advisory Committee. Paresh Amin and Laura Jane were appointed to the Community Relations Advisory Council for a 4-year term, which expires in 2020. In public hearings, during the afternoon session, an ordinance to grant an economic development ad valorem tax exemption for Publix supermarket was approved for the company to expand its business in Lakeland. The company expects to create 700 new full-time jobs with an average income of $43,985. For the company to maintain its exemption, it must create 300 of those positions by the 3rd year of the agreement, which runs from 2020 through 2029. The ordinance includes a 100% reduction in its ad valorem taxes, but it will continue to pay school and city taxes. The board also approved an economic development ad valorem tax exemption for IGT Global Solutions Corp., which makes instant lottery tickets. The company, which qualified for a 50% reduction in its ad valorem taxes between 2018 and 2027, plans to create 42 new positions with salaries at 115% of the average county wage. The board took no action on the first reading of a Land Development Code text amendment that would include 2 land uses that were originally omitted in the Southeast Polk Selected Area Plan. A large-scale comprehensive plan text amendment was transmitted by the board to the state to change the policies pertaining to the county's 10-year water supply facilities work plan. The board approved a resolution that provides notice of intent to utilize the uniform method for the levy, collection, and enforcement of non-ad valorem assessments. The board voted to give its members a slight raise, bringing their annual salary to $43,002.21. Well, that wraps up this edition of Dateline Polk. To keep current with programs and progress in the county, visit us online at polk-county.net or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We encourage you to join us at the next scheduled board meeting at 9 a.m. Tuesday, January 3rd. I'm Connor Updike. Thanks for watching.